So if Die Hard gets to be the best Christmas movie, does that make Batman Arkham Origins the best Christmas game?
Mm,
There's really not any other
I would
Competition.
say as
competition.
much as Batman Arkham Knight is the best Halloween game, but that's just bullshit in many accounts.
Well, I
But
mean, does
I
Kingdom
would
Hearts
have
get to
to agree.
count as a Christmas game because there's a Nightmare Before Christmas level in it?
Yeah, but the entire game is not set during
Well, I
Christmas
mean,
though.
Yeah.
technically it is
Okay,
because it's.
okay, I'll
There's a part
stop
of
you
it
all
that
right
celebrated
there
Christmas.
because the best Christmas game is Yakuza. Just full stop.
I
No
mean, some
arguments.
people are gonna argue
It's not
Bayonetta
just
2.
released. It's not just released during the Christmas season. It's set during the Christmas season because they do that thing where the games are set around their approximate release time. You know.
I have to agree. I believe Bayonetta 2 is probably a better Christmas game than this one is, even though the Christmas themes kind of like go hand in hand with like the game setting and all that sort of thing. They make a couple of
Well,
mods
you
to
know,
it.
Christmas.
And Alfred really wants Bruce to eat that Christmas ham. Like he is adamant on him eating this fucking ham.
My parents are dead.
That was
He
actually.
wants him to wait. Oh, okay. For the moment. Oh, huh? Okay, so I just went through like three, three different brain things when I saw that face. I was like, Terminator, Red Skull. No, wait, this is Batman.
It's Black Mass.
Black
No,
Mass.
it's
Yeah.
Black Mask.
Okay, I'm gonna say I have grievances with Arkham Origins as a game, but uh, the cinematography and the cutscenes is really nice.
It's the best in the series. I
Yeah.
think. Like if you were to ask
I
me,
would
it's the
have.
best in
I
the
would have
series.
liked. This game suffers from a clearly rushed development cycle,
Yeah, well, it was outsourced to
which is a
it was
shame.
outsourced to a different development team, I think.
WB Montreal, which I believe, as the rumor goes at the time of this recording, they're the ones working on the next game. Which this game shows that they can do it. They just need the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and let's be real. They had plenty of time since Night.
Doesn't
Yeah.
this game
So,
also
I-
reuse like not just assets but a lot of like the map design from the city? Is the one before this one?
It takes pretty much everything from City and just adds on
Yeah,
top.
it expands the map outside of the boundaries of what Arkham City had in it, which is a nice enough way to do it. Other games have done that to good effect, or else used portions of a previous game's map as an area that you revisit to sort of emphasize the increase in scope. Resident Evil 3 did that actually with the police station or part of it. Um,
Yeah, like most of this game is just built on top of Arkham City. Unfortunately, not enough time was given to fully optimize everything because the game is pretty unstable at points. Largely depending on what version you're playing, which I have to ask, which version are you
This is the
playing?
PS3 version,
Okay,
because it's the one I
so
have.
uh,
I don't recall hearing much about the PS3 version. I hear the Wii U, the 360, and the PC version are actually the most unstable.
the thing is, like, you don't have to worry too much about PS3 ports unless it's Bethesda, because for some reason Bethesda was really bad at it, and they always blamed the PS3 itself for that,
Yeah.
even though they were like literally the only developers who had that level of trouble with porting to the PS3.
The PS3 version runs fine for the most part. It's just when you're gliding around because there's snow particles and stuff. It can get rather choppy in the overworld if there's too much going
Yeah.
on, but for the most part, it runs okay.
I've played this on both 360
Yeah.
and PC, and on both occasions I've had stuttering, a few crashes on the 360.
I've never crashed on
And,
I'll tell you
um,
one thing.
On a couple of occasions, I just felt.
I'll tell you one thing that looks pretty awful. Whenever you get a close-up look of one of the shadows. Oh
What?
boy.
When did this game come out?
2013.
We've come a long way in 6 years. I will say, because not that this game looks bad, but it's just stuff.
It's still PS3 360 era where things look good, but they hadn't quite figured out facial features yet.
Well,
Well, it's more just that we've come a long way towards performance. I think is the big thing. Like
Yeah.
games don't look leaps and bounds better than what they did a couple of years ago, but they certainly run
yeah.
a lot.
At the
better.
same time, this game definitely looks better than Arkham Asylum, which kind of made everyone look a bit like they were made of clay. Um,
No, they're just all clay faces. Lewis, come on. Don't you know the lore? Don't you know the lore?
Although
one
I
video.
suppose-
List, and it says everyone Basil Carlo.
I suppose, to be accurate, I should credit that particular graphical advancement to Arkham City. But, yeah, this game has it too. One thing I will say I don't like, in terms of, stylistic changes, is the whole armored Batman look, which I'm not super fond of in the movies, and I'm not happy to see coming into the games as well. They even...
The movie direction at the time was basically just to make it so you could, have a guy running around and taking bullets and stuff.
Yeah, because this is still off the heels of the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, because Dark Knight
And-
Rises came out in 12,
Yeah,
I believe.
they
Yeah, it was
even
only
did like
2012.
Arkham City Armored Edition. I'm like, oh, cool. Arkham City Worst Costume Edition. Great. Just what I always wanted.
And added cheekbones for Catwoman. But
Oh no! Did you see the
Yeah,
video from Arkham City just a few days ago where they swapped Batman and Catwoman's model?
Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah.
I remember like one of the things that they were doing for Batman v Superman that I honestly saw as one of the few positives of that movie was for the first goddamn time in movie Batman that wasn't something campy like Adam West anyway. We had a full like cloth Batman costume.
Oh no, the costume in the DCE was really good.
Yeah, I love it.
It's just every other part about that Batman that's not
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I think the Batman parts were always the best thing about that universe. But there's
He
not
literally
enough of it.
he mutilates people.
I mean, that's just kind
Well,
of
I
that's
agree
just
that-
kind of an
I don't
unfortunate.
agree with that.
Zach-
Moj.
That's just that's somewhat of an unfortunate implication when you just try to
Zack
put it in real-life
Snyder.
context.
Zack Snyder is
Right.
unfortunately like way obsessed with superhero deconstruction and doesn't quite have the chops to pull it off. So yeah, that Batman was the result.
Okay, so is that like kind of slow down when the cinematography ends? Is that just my copy of the video, or is that the game?
No, the game does that when it's snapping control back to you.
Yeah.
It's not that jarring in motion. The difference is just obviously we're watching it on the video versus
Yeah,
on a big
unfortunately-
TV where it'll be less
Getting
noticeable.
Unfortunately, it was this late gen PS3 360 era stuff where performance issues started to become a bit of a thing for a lot of games, whether they were rushed or not, really. Sometimes it was a porting issue, but most of the time it was them trying to push the system to its limit to see how close they could get to the next generation without actually starting the next
Being epic.
generation. The way it usually is. Like in the PS1 days, we got fucking Chrono Cross and Final Fantasy IX with their fucking annoying load times and all that
yeah,
stuff.
That's like the biggest reason why I can't go to Final Fantasy IX is that I don't have the time to wait 30 seconds for a random battle to
Just
load.
play a PC or Switch version or something.
Well, how is it better?
You could at least,
the
you could at least speed
PC
through it.
Switch HD port of Final Fantasy IX is okay. The interface is the one big thing that I don't like about it.
Yeah, but you can at the very least it has a speed up function, so you can skip all those battle starting stuff.
Well, the battle starting stuff is also just generally faster because they don't have to spend like 15 seconds on black screen and then slowly pan around while the models load in.
Okay, Batman, do you have to draw the gel as a bat? I mean, dude, get a hobby.
No, but Ted, this is his origin.
Well, the thing is, he doesn't just draw it as a bat. He draws it in the vague shape of a bat, and then the gel grows ears and wing spikes and everything. It's designed to take the shape of a bat when drawn into a vaguely zigzaggy oval.
Maybe it's just a function. Maybe it's just a function of the gel. Like, yeah, no matter what kind of pattern he makes, it eventually just makes shifts into
That's
a
been
bat.
a thing since Arkham Asylum. That's the way he does it. He draws it into a vague oval shape, and it grows a bat shape. It's great. It's like one of the best.
And like, the more angry he is, the more
It's
wings
one
it
of-
gets.
it's one of
and
the best
claws.
things.
Mr. Wade, couldn't we use this nanotechnology to cure cancer and other shit? No, I need it for my gel.
Put another $30 million into bat gel technology.
It's one of the best things because as grim as the Arkham games are, they have to have something of a sense of humor, especially with all the Joker focus. And the bat gel is one of the places where they make a low-key reference to the kind of silliness you would get from Adam West.
I'm actually glad that these games, from what I've seen, aren't as grimdark as Batman can get. Because even something like The Dark Knight still has a lot of fun jokes
Yeah.
and stuff in it. Levity is important. And I get that. Whether like how much levity you want in your superhero movie is a matter of taste. Some people don't want it to be like Marvel MCU levels.
The thing is, the levity is usually what Alfred's there for.
The levity.
Well, my favorite scene in The Dark Knight is the one where I forget his name, but the guy is trying to blackmail Morgan Freeman, and he's just like, I know that he's Batman. Give me this money.
And
then
Morgan Freeman's
like,
just like-
okay, you think that he goes around beating up people every night, and you want to blackmail him?
Bitch, please. Yeah, the levity is half the reason the Nolan trilogy worked when the early MCU stuff didn't. Really, it had much better tonal mastery.
Well, the MCU, well, to be fair, the MCU was just starting.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I would
but-
say, I would
That
say
came
that
Aside from Iron Man 1, the levity was a little too forced in some instances in
I
early
think
MCU.
Thor. I will say, like Thor. I will defend Thor 1 to the death, even though it might not deserve it. But I would say, like MCU Iron Man 1 and arguably Thor 1, I still say hold up pretty well. Like Hulk is, Iron Man 2 is, what else came? Captain America is when they hit their stride. IMO.
Yeah.
I can't believe I said IMO in the real world. I'm a
Yeah, IMO.
Okay, so why are we here other than bad guys are evil?
Basically,
Bad guys are evil.
Basically,
Okay.
Black Mass is breaking into Blackgate to get to Commissioner Loeb, because basically Batman is causing problems because he's actually, getting criminals caught.
Oh, and this
Because
is
the status quo was criminals like Black Mass would pay Loeb and other cops under the table, and they could just do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is the corrupt guy before
Gordon, yeah.
Yeah, for Gordon.
Okay.
Loeb's a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So basically, Black Mass is doing this to send a message.
Yeah. This is one of those stories where it goes back to that time when Batman didn't have, like, the police commissioner as a direct ally who called on him intentionally, where he was an unquestionably a vigilante, which is always an interesting story to experience, at least when it's done well. Even the Batman animated series opened on that to a degree.
I still think to this day those are some of the most interesting Batman stories.
Year one is very
anything
good
around
about
year
it.
Yeah.
one. Yeah, anything surrounding year one or Batman's early days where he was inexperienced, still getting used to the whole thing. I think those are the most interesting because nowadays if anything is if it's like 10, 15 years later, it's pretty much full on Bat guy.
Yeah, Bat-God is like my least favorite version of the character. Like the worst instance I would say is probably Injustice, where even if you get rid of the writing implications of I can take a punch from Superman, happy pills. Besides that, it's just like, okay, really, dude.
It was
Really?
at least
Batman is so badass that he can beat up Batman.
He was at
And
least
it's like,
marginally
what?
less dumb than Mortal Kombat versus DC. Okay, so there's that.
Well, so I know
Also-
very
also,
little
like,
about
also, I-
Mortal
I-
Kombat versus DC. What did they do there?
Oh boy. Okay, there was some sort of spell or virus or something that made everyone go angry time and just fight each other for
Rage.
no reason with
Yeah.
glowy eyes or something. And how did they explain how Batman could take a punch from Superman in that one? I don't remember.
They didn't.
They didn't.
I remember this basically because of the two realms converging. It upset the balance of life, magic, just in the natural order of things, and that's why Batman can punch Superman. Superman can.
Oh, now I'm just imagining the wizard Shazam on his throne at the Rock of Eternity. He's just going, when he sees this game, "You fools! You've messed with the natural order!"
It's
I
essentially
love
that.
how Killer Croc in this game is like 1/3 the size compared to Arkham Asylum. It's like they realized they overdid it, so they just use the prequel excuse
Scaled him down.
to scale him down. Ha ha ha.
Scale.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Ah, good one, Lewis.
Much better here.
I mean,
though,
like,
than in
he's
Asylum.
Yeah, because you actually have a boss
He's
fight.
the same fucking
Yeah.
size as Batman here, and in fucking
A little bit bigger.
a little
a
bit
little
bigger
bigger,
in the
he's hunched.
shoulders, maybe, but about as tall, about as bulky, a little
He
bulkier.
looks like one of the Killer Instinct Battletoads.
Yeah, but he's like he's Killer Croc instead of the Incredible Hulk with teeth, and that's
No, the Incredible
the
Croc.
incredible, the
The Incredible Croc Legend of the Go-Go's.
the Incredible Croc, which
Oh my
the Incredible Croc, which is a fusion dance between Solomon Grundy and the Incredible Hulk, and has nothing to do with the Killer
He
Croc.
robs a bank.
Wait,
and
wait,
then
wait.
he
Was that
goes
actually
off
was
in
that
the
actually a
background.
was that actually a thing in the Amalgam comics in the '90s or?
I don't know.
The Amalgam comics were fun. Do you want to know how you make Batman even edgier? Fuse him with Wolverine.
Oh God, that's like.
Oh,
That-
Ted, you haven't seen Nightclaw?
No, I have not seen Nightclaw. I knew about the
Sounds like
Captain
a late
America
night show.
Superman combo. but I
So,
did not
okay,
know about.
Batman fused with Wolverine. Okay, so what I'm getting from that is Batman, but with character. Okay, I can work with this.
Yeah, but the idea of putting that, if you took that comic book and you put it on the ground somewhere, you would just attract 14-year-old boys. Like, its scent
That would just
bring
be-
them out of the building.
No, you see, that would be the edgy '90s comic to end all edgy '90s comics.
That'd be from Image Comics.
Yeah, it'd be like so much '90s edge that everyone just gave up and stopped trying to imitate it.
It was also really weird because that also during the Amalgam comics, Robin fused with Jubilee,
What?
which led apparently I guess later on in some other run, Tim Drake eventually remembered that happened at one point.
Okay, but which Jubilee? Jubilee Firecrackers for
90,
Hands or
90,
Jubilee
90,
Vampire
90.
Girl?
90 Jubilee.
You know what? I was going to ask Jubilee became a vampire, but then I remembered it's comics. There's like a 60%
Yeah,
chance you've become
There was this whole arc where she became a vampire, and there was like some interplay between her and Wolverine during this time, and I don't actually know if it was any good because I've only seen a couple issues of it. And the few issues I read were interesting, but they might have just been a good blip on an otherwise lame comic arc for all I know. Wow. Okay, so this is the part of the arc where Batman doesn't know how to interrogate people. You know, that thing that...
It's also like he's trying to intimidate a 7-foot tall crocodile man. Also, it's hard to be intimidated by Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, did they change the? They changed the voice actor for this game, right?
Yeah, this is
Because-
Roger Craig Smith.
Because Kevin Conroy was the voice of Batman for City and.
They
Asylum.
wanted a younger sounding.
Okay,
Batman.
guys. I know you don't like the whole vigilante thing, but I think you can make allowances for the guy who beat up the fucking mutant crocodile monster, who is probably bulletproof anyway. Just saying. This would be...
You see, Batman's not going to be taken in for the countless beatings that he does or the illegal police work that he does. He's going to be taken in for flying in the fly zone
That's
without
actually
license.
pretty clever. In the subtitles, I think that's Bullock. He said Batman
Yeah, it's Bullock.
as
Yeah,
two separate
Bullock.
words.
With a hyphen. He's not John.
No,
T.
not even
Spiderman.
with a hyphen. Batman, capital Bat, capital Man with a space between, because he doesn't know they're one word yet. You get it? It's kind of subtle, and I think you probably need the subtitles on to get that. But it's nice attention to detail. I like it.